Previously on the Order 1986.
What the fuck was that?
I think you're a fucking lichen! At least I'm not a drunk. At least I don't have a problem. My cocaine. Hey! Galahad screamed, looking at her face. Inside the house of the ladies of the night.
We'll do this together.
Galahad remarked. Oh! Fuck! It's all just a travesty. This whole thing. This whole fucking game.
I am the god of fire, and I bring you fire!
I could destroy you all! Oh no! Leon! No! No! At this point, Galahad was super unimpressed at Faversham. Oh, you and me again? Maybe we could go to the hospital together, Galahad remarked. Slowly, Faversham was making her impression upon him. But she was taking her sweet goddamn time! You know, I'm a man! I have urges! Galahad remarked at Faversham's increasing hostility. I hate you. You're holding me back from all the poon I could be slaying! Galahad screamed at the top of his lungs, his frustration evident as they saw a body completely disrobed of skin. It was totally disgusting and awesome at the same time. Galahad continued on his way through the hospital. He had no time for Faversham's bullshit. Your peasant-level thinking is what's keeping us apart right now, woman, he screamed. Total alien agony as he made his way through the hospital alone. I'd rather be by myself now, woman, he said, making his way to the boiler room. I used to be a god of fire. He found a bottle where all his hopes had fallen into. You can find me, you can come back in the morning. Maybe then you won't be such a bitch, he said, slamming the door and reserving himself to the night. He gave into the darkness that night, drinking from the bottle endlessly, thinking of all the souls he could have crushed as his one-time position as the god of fire. Galahad looked around in a drunken stupor, not realizing this entire time Lady Faversham had been there watching him. It was a little messed up. When they awoke, an hour later, Galahad was caught completely off guard by Lady Faversham. She's like, what are you doing? And he's like, what are you doing? Screaming, still slurring his speech. It was clear the bottles were filled with water, she said. They're not filled with alcohol, dum-dum. Galahad felt stupid, realizing that he was now locked in this hospital with the person he only hated the most. But he found so arousing. It was quite the conflict of emotion as Galahad made his way through this maze, hating everything that happened, slowly backtracking his way through. He began shooting, but it wasn't thermite. Oh, I fucking hate this gun, Galahad said as he took... Oh, apparently he could only shoot. No melees for you. Galahad took the bolt-action pistol. It was much superior as he continued his way through the dead hospital. Can't we just go out the way we came? He started complaining, his hunger increasing as the game went on. The game of love between him and Lady Faversham, whose own light wasn't working. Oh, maybe I can light the way for you, miss, he said, pointing to his penis. It's absolutely disgusting and just fucked up thing to do. It's like he's screaming, I could always blame it on the rebels, he thought, thinking about killing her, but it was too late. There were no rebels. They were all dead. Galahad killed them with effortless ease. He gave no fucks about who he was killing. He aimed at the flame thing. I used to be that. I could have been a contender, he said, looking into the flame endlessly. He continued reluctantly into the wheelhouse of the hospital. This was clearly where the cures are made. I understand what kind of treatment this is. This is the same treatment I subject people to every day. Very medieval. Galahad paid no attention to Lady Faversham's stupid remarks about where people were. I don't need you! I am protecting you, he screamed. I am the man in this. Don't you forget it. Galahad quickly opted to switch weapons. However, Pierre had disarmed him. Galahad shot Abraham Lincoln in the face, killing the President of the United States, who was hiding on the ridge. That's what Lady Faversham had pointed out. Galahad took no prisoners. I am the Pirate King. You fear me, he screamed. No prisoners, no remorse. Firing the rest of his ammo into the poor man, who was clearly, at this point, dead, but still alive enough to feel things. Galahad, angry with Lady Faversham's stupidity, allowed her to open the door head first. Maybe that'll make you think about things, okay? Instead of using your emotions all the time. Galahad walked around and approached the gate. It's open, he said. Opening the gate to the old Whitechapel Hospital. The pair walked up the stairs, clearly tired of the day's adventures. Perhaps you and I can get a room here, he said. She said, yeah, with separate beds. In her very Lady Faversham-like retort. However, Galahad could not stop staring at the booty. He noticed someone from afar. Perhaps if he had kept Pierre's rectally based binoculars, he could see with whom they were talking. It looked like it might have been Alistair. Alistair McKellen, Ian McKellen's son, chatting with perhaps the street vagrant. Well, to each their own, he thought, looking at Faversham's derriere as he continued. Every man needs to get their own. They continued into the Whitechapel London Hospital, examining one of the bodies of the victims. Galahad approached, sticking his fingers in the fleshy bits. Ugh, I think it's dead. Can they fix this at the hospital? Just Lady Faversham was so angry at Galahad's stupidity. You dumb fuck! She screamed at the top of her lungs. It's a derelict hospital! How do you think that works? She totally was angry at him. It caught him off guard. Galahad looked like a child who had been yelled at for doing something bad. Which is quite the reaction Galahad was used to having after all this time. He found himself the butt of many jokes. The dumbass, the dunce in the class, forced to do the unthinkable. And yet he was still the time traveler lord who had figured out how time travel operated. He held this as a secret that he regarded as himself being stronger than others. Galahad approached them with his shotgun, shooting them in the penis, and then immediately using someone's bowler hat to cut their own neck. It was so intense and impressive. I wish I had played it more. Galahad made his way to the exit, ushering Lady Faversham to do just something. The door. Galahad touched her. She immediately recoiled in fear. Not right now, Galahad. Now's not the time. Father would disapprove, she said. Immediately, the two knew they were in danger. Perhaps this would be a werewolf battle. Perhaps it would indeed, Galahad thought as he continued into the basement. The basement where the bodies were buried, aka the morgue. Galahad parkoured his way down like a Los Angeles 20-something, being all cool with their skills. Oh, I can run on walls. I'm so much better than you. Oh, gotta make my movies with my GoPro. Galahad continued, holding only a flashlight. Not a fleshlight. It slowly illuminated what appeared to be the removed faces of other victims who suffered a similar fate to Galahad. He realized this was a hospital. Not just the hospital, not just the butcher clinic. The butcher clinic he himself had been taken to after the werewolf fight in Chapter 3. Realizing he was once a victim, he saw one of the face transplants that had been put on his. Oh my God, this was it! This was that hospital! And with a feverish grin, Galahad slowly made his way through, seeing exposed body parts everywhere. This is no place for kids, he said. Viewing a derelict operating table. Who abandons the hospital and leaves the meat? He thought, saying aloud. Unfortunately, Lady Faversham still had her calm on. She could hear. She could hear all of what Galahad was saying, and it was disturbing her. Her ears began shrieking a quiet shriek of disappointment, failure. At this point, Galahad saw immediately one of the same fecal chairs that he had known earlier. This is where they had me in the basement, he said, stepping on the poo. As he made his way out, slowly but surely, he began kicking what appeared to be a body part as he slowly made his way through the hospital. Oh, what's that? Suddenly something jumped into the frame, scaring Galahad immediately. He opted to look through one more time. Nope. No, nothing changed. No. Galahad wasn't sure. Perhaps someone was playing a trick on him, so he looked a third time, hoping to catch someone off guard. I see you, magician. I know you're there, he screamed, just insanely. Galahad slowly made his way to one of the other cells. He opened it. Oh, fuck! He screamed, seeing a patient. Hello? What are you doing here? The patient immediately turned around, tentacles coming out of its face. It stabbed Galahad. Just totally awesome, like the Thing. Galahad left the Rat Man behind. Ooh, as he continued his way through Whitechapel Hospital, slowly moving up the corridor. He thought he saw something exquisitely scary. But the horrors of this hospital were not of the physical realm, but rather the mind. And all of a sudden, Whitechapel General bore witness to the horror of a zombified human eating the forbidden flesh. It was totally disgusting. Ah! There was only so much Galahad could take as a man. This was not one of it. All sorts of fluid emerging from every orifice he had. It was totally gross. He ran in fear. There was yellow water all over the carpet wherever he ran. This is so fucked! Help me! Help me, not again! Galahad was caught up against the wall as the Thing began talking to him, ripping him from stem to sternum. It threw him into another room separately. The rifle emerged. Pierre, you fucking me, my God! Yeah, it's so bad! Galahad started crying into the comms. Lady Faversham had to turn it off. There's only so much a woman can bear. And you know what? For a guy to say he's the man in the relationship when he's screaming like a little bitch, clearly he wasn't. Anyway, I hope you're enjoying this Let's Play. Be sure to leave a like, share it on social media. It always helps me out. I appreciate if you guys could show some love to this series. It's new for me to do a Let's Play. And I hope you guys are enjoying it very much. Peace out. I will see you in the next episode of The Order 1986.